Yo, guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Baines Film Reviews. And for the first time ever, I am going to do a video review. I just watched a short anthology series called Bite Size Halloween. I watched the third series that was made up of just over 20 episodes. There was so much content, so much information, so many fantastic things to talk about that I wanted to do it this way. So it was a little bit more concise, and you guys didn't have to read like thousands and thousands of words, because the reality is that I was just incapable of writing something concise enough for you guys to sit here and have to redo the whole thing. It wouldn't be fair to you guys. I love you guys, and I want you guys to be comfortable while you're reading, watching, whatever it might be. So I'm coming at you in video form for my first ever video review. So again, the name of this anthology series is Bite Size Halloween. It is on its third season, and you can find the entire series on Hulu. It's a series of short episodes that talk about everything from race to Halloween itself to ghosts and ghouls and the bloodline, individuals' bloodlines. It's an insanely interesting short series. You have to check it out. I highly encourage you to do so. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. First of all, the two best episodes, in my opinion, one called Incomplete, and one is called Bad Rabbit. Those are my two favorite episodes for a variety of different reasons. But let's talk about the overall scope of this anthology series. First of all, rarely do you find an anthology series. For those of you who don't know what that means, an anthology series is one that incorporates a series of different stories into one season or series of a show. None of these episodes are related to one another. None of them have any bearing or any effect on anything else that happens throughout the rest of the series or the season. Each one is individual, and each one tells its own unique story. Incomplete is about a young gentleman who is court ordered to, every time an alarm goes off, he needs to blow into a breathalyzer to prove that he's not been drinking. Bad Rabbit is about a young woman who is kind of trapped by her mother. She's just kind of a slave to her mother. Whatever her mother wants, that's what she does, and she feels very trapped. She's got to be in her late 20s, early 30s, and it's just kind of her mental, her emotional, and her physical reactions to how her mother is treating her. One of the biggest things in cinema now, in film now, it's in shows, it's in movies, it's in stage plays. Diversity has got to be the hottest topic in mainstream today. The issue with that, I've said it so many times. For those of you that have read some of my other reviews, I've said it so many times. The issue with diversity is it's becoming pushed. It's becoming forced in these shows and these movies, and it just feels unnatural and organic, and it doesn't work. It either feels like it's being shoved down the viewer's throat, or it just simply doesn't work, and it doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of what's taking place. Because it's an anthology series, these series of writers and directors and actors have the opportunity, have a very unique opportunity to present to you stories from many different backgrounds. You see African American stories, you see Caucasian stories, you see American stories, you see based on religion, you see everything, every race, every religion, every creed, every gender, every sexuality. Everything is represented here so perfectly. It's never forced, it's never out of place, and it's done very tactfully. It's done in a way that, while I can't understand the scope of everything, I feel like everyone would believe that justice has been done to each and every group of people represented throughout this season. Again, I only watched season three, but it's done very, very well. Again, very tactfully done. Everything happens very organically, and it works well in the grand scope of the series. Second, the lighting, the sound, things of this nature are just done impeccably well. I can't. I tried so hard to find things that I didn't like, because the nature of the beast is there's things you like and there's things that you don't. And in this season three of this anthology series, there's nothing bad about the lighting. It's so spectacularly done in each and every instance of each and every episode. Never ever is anything lost because it's difficult to see, or never is anything lost because it's too bright. And in addition to that, it helps set the tone and the mood so beautifully, and it sets each and every episode up perfectly. So everything that the writer and the director wants to convey to their audience is done. It's done effectively, and viewers are able to understand and appreciate the emotion and the sentiment behind each and every episode, each and every character, each and every word of the dialogue. And that comes a lot as a result of the spectacular lighting and the sound. I had a conversation with Paul Schuyler the other day, who is the writer, director, editor, star of Red River Road, which is a horror film, which kind of plays very nicely into this idea here. Sound is such an important part of film, and it's not just the explosions and the massive noises; it's the natural sounds that you hear. Walking across the floor, the creak, or complete absence of noise. And that, again, works so perfectly to dictate the tone and the mood of each and every one of these episodes. The one thing that I found is there are some phenomenal actors in this, and the majority, 95% of them, convey emotion and fill the shoes of their respective characters with great aplomb. Absolutely fantastic. But there were a few that I found maybe were a little overzealous in their performance. And while I understand that the points of some of these episodes was to be intentionally campy and intentionally silly, maybe a little exaggerated, there are times when that tone and that mood is lost because of those actors. And I won't call specific ones out because, in the grand scheme of things, it didn't affect things terribly. Every episode worked, so it didn't negatively affect anything to the point where I sat back and was like, "Oh, this was just ruined." The dialogue was phenomenal. It's again, it was very natural. It was elegant. It was done correctly. It felt like everyone speaking didn't seem out of place. It was presented to viewers in a way that it was accessible, understandable, and again, it worked very well to tell these stories. An interesting theme that happens, one way that they are all connected beyond just the horror genre, is a lot of what's happening is very sexually charged. There are a lot of instances, a lot of scenes throughout, not all of these episodes, but a good chunk of these episodes, I would say 30 or 40% of them, that are based somewhat on sex, whether that's someone's sexuality, whether that's physical sex, intimacy, or something else entirely. I found that theme played a significant role in almost every one of these episodes. But it works. Again, it's one of these things where it can completely throw a scene or an entire episode off course, off kilter. And just like everything else, it's done so tactfully, tastefully, elegantly, and it's just so well thought out that they never miss a beat. They never do something that shouldn't be there. They never include a scene that feels out of place. Ultimately, this is a must see. If you are big into horror, if you are big into the Halloween season, which we are in the throes of right now, you will love this. I promise you that. If you don't love all of them, that's okay. One of the beautiful things about this is that you can watch 1, 2, 10, 15 episodes and love them. And then there may be 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes that you don't care for. That's okay. No, none of them have any bearing on any of the other episodes. And that gives everybody an opportunity to find something that they relate to, something that they find accessible, something that they enjoy. There's a series of phenomenal writers, directors, and actors that really bring these stories to life in an exciting and vibrant way. It would take me all day to list them all because there are so many, and they really do a fantastic job. Once again, the name of this series is Bite Size Halloween. I just watched season 3 of Bite Size Halloween. The entire series is again available on Hulu, and the much awaited rating. It's a very difficult rating to give because again, they're all unique to themselves. But I would have to say that as a whole, I would give this season 3 of Bite Size Halloween, an 8 out of 10 stars, which is an incredibly high rating. Everyone that was on board for this should be very proud of what they created. Once again, this was Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews with my first ever video review. I wanted to do this series some justice, and I hope that I did. Please check it on Hulu. Please look at the rest of my reviews. I really encourage you guys to do so. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Continue to check me out on my website at Bane's Film Reviews. Check me out on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook at Baines Film Reviews and Twitter at Baines Film Review. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time. Have a great day. Peace.